What's good, guys? It's your boy Filmmaker, and we are back again with another video. For today, I just wanted to talk about something that I feel like is necessary and something that I feel like new content creators, new YouTubers, or new inspiring directors or filmmakers should know, especially in today's world of being a content creator or YouTuber or somebody that just loves to hold the camera and do camera work. These few pointers or something that I'm about to discuss, I feel like is going to be needed and necessary for those coming up and those that are just starting out their journey into being a filmmaker. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. In today's world of content creating, there's a lot of different accessories that anybody can buy to get the work done or get their shoot done. Different cameras on the market, different brands. There's a lot of options to choose from. So with that, you can kind of get confused, or you can kind of get guilt tripped into buying certain gear that you might not need and you might necessarily never use after using it for the one time of using it. I can speak from experience because I have a lot of gear that is here right now in my studio that I feel like I've only used once or twice or hardly used, and it's just being shelved right on my shelf and I'm not really using it. So for today's video, I'm going to be talking about the reasons why we need to buy gear that is needed for what we're looking to get done, gear that is needed for the shoot, gear that is needed for your specific taste and your specific like, because there's a lot of options to choose from, and I feel like we filmmakers, content creators will see something new today and try to jump onto it and buy it and purchase it, and at the end of the day have a regret because we felt guilt tripped into buying the gear and now we don't like the gear or we're not using it as much as we thought we might need it. Now with that being said, now let's talk about the reasons why you would buy specific gear for your needs. Now in order for you to be able to know the kind of gear that you need to buy or that is necessary for your style of shoot, you need to identify who you are as a content creator or who you are as a filmmaker. I believe once you understand who you are and what your goals are as a content creator or filmmaker, you would understand the kind of gear that you need to buy and not try to spend hours doing research or wasting time buying gear, wasting your money buying gear that you're not going to use ever again. So determine who you are as a filmmaker. Are you somebody that just wants to do content for YouTube or just do content for Instagram? Or are you somebody that's a filmmaker that wants to dive into the world of doing videos for other clients, doing videos for other people, other brands, companies, and you want to earn a living from it? I think in this day and age, we need to differentiate who we are in that spectrum. This way, you know what you're buying and know what you're doing and know what your goals are. Some people are okay just doing content for themselves and not doing it for nobody else, while some other people want to do content for other people, do content for brands, do music videos, do films and other videos and make a living out of it. You need to differentiate who you are as a content creator. Now, once you determine who you are, it will be easier to kind of now dive into the looks of buying the kind of gear that you need for specifically for what you're trying to do. For example, if you just want to be a YouTuber and just want to do vlogging style videos or just regular YouTube videos like this and just want to sit down in front of the camera and just, you know, play around and goof around or just talk or something like that, you would not necessarily need to buy the kind of gear that someone like myself, for example, who is a film director and I do music videos and I do commercials for brands and stuff like that. The kind of gear that I would need for those kind of specific jobs, you would necessarily not need to buy them because you're just doing videos for YouTube and just content creation for Instagram. So that kind of gear that I would buy, you would not necessarily need to buy it. For example, if I was to buy lighting for videos that I do for the kind of clients that I need lighting that has enough amp power. I need lighting that can give me 300 watts, 400 watts, 500 watts, 1200 watts, those kind of lights. If you're just a content creator that's just doing regular videos for YouTube, you don't necessarily need to buy those kind of expensive gear that probably might cost you like $1,000 upwards to like $5,000. You don't need that. You're only doing videos for YouTube, so you probably end up buying lighting that's more cost effective, like a light that probably might cost you $150, $250, probably something not more than $500, because again, you're just doing videos for just YouTube purposes, so you don't really need that much lighting to do what you're doing. A good amount, there's a lot of lights that are very cheap that will just be good for content creation and what you might need. Some people end up with ring lights, for example, and those are very cheap lights to get, and those are, you know, very cost effective. So those kind of lights would be necessary for somebody that's just doing content creating. Now, talking about cameras that you might necessarily need for what you're doing as a filmmaker. For example, I'm using my Sony A7RV right now to film this YouTube video. That's something that I bought to do content creation or just do little videos like this YouTube video that I'm using it for. I also have cinema cameras, like I have my red V-Raptor and I have a Blackmagic camera. So those are cinema line cameras used for bigger production jobs, used for production in general. I'm not gonna put my V-Raptor on a tripod to shoot a YouTube video. I can, but I'm not gonna do that because that's not what it's intended for. It is for productions and bigger shoots that I use it for. So in determining those kind of gear that I have, certain gears are used for certain things and certain gears are used for certain things. You necessarily would not need to buy a cinema camera if you're just doing YouTube vlog style videos. There's so many DSLR mirrorless cameras that you can buy that's cheap, more cheaper than a cinema line camera for YouTube videos and vlog style videos. I don't think you need to go out there and try to kill yourself or spend all your money just to get a cinema camera if you're not going to use it for what is intended for, cinema camera, high-end productions. Mirrorless cameras and DSLR cameras are for lower spectrum, you know, vlog style gigs. I can still use my Sony A7RV to go shoot a client project depending on what it is. Then again, that will be my decision and the decision of the production. So stuff like that, you know what kind of gear you're buying. If you're also into photography, for example, you would buy a camera that can do both video and both pictures. When I look into buying camera gear, being that I also do photography as well, I look into gears like that I can be able to use to do video and to do photo at the same time. There's cameras that are specifically for video, more like cinema cameras. Those are specifically for video production purposes, while there are some cameras like mirrorless and DSLR cameras that you can buy for both photos and both videos. Those are also great as well. Also, in today's video content creation, you know, world, there's a lot of people that just use their phone for content creation. You don't really necessarily need to go buy a camera to even get a video done. You can shoot with your phone. That's just that simple. Your phones can take pictures, your phones can do video. It's just that simple. If you're a hobbyist, that would be a best bet. That would be your best bet, because most of the time you spend a lot of money on buying your phone and upgrading your phone every other month or year, and you can just use that piece of gear that you have that you've already spent money on to just do the content that you're doing. If you're somebody that, you know, wants to go a little extra forward than getting the phones, because sometimes the phone quality is not always the best, especially in low light. Sometimes you would, you know, need to get it spec'd out or use certain apps to be able to get certain good shots on the phone. But straight out of the phone, sometimes, especially in daylight, that's when I like to use my phone. In daylight, you can get by with just your phone and you can just do that. But you know, when you want to go a little bit forward, that's when you can buy a little small DSLR or mirrorless camera and you can get the job done. So I'm pretty sure you guys understand me at this point. I'm not trying to make this video long. I'm just trying to clear up my point and make you guys understand that you need to differentiate who you are as a filmmaker. Sometimes we buy gear that we would never use again, or we will only use once or twice, or we will buy a gear that we wouldn't even open. We'll just look at it and shelf it, or try to resell it, or try to return it. And that's just a waste of time, and that's just time spent, money spent, just wasted. And I don't feel like you guys need to do that. I have done that a lot of times. Like, there's some gear right now on my shelf that I'm looking at, like, I only use once or twice and I'm just shelving it. Would I still use it? I don't know, but it's just there. But that's just an example to show you that you necessarily don't need stuff to buy that you're never gonna use. For example, I bought a GoPro. In my mind, I was gonna use the GoPro to start doing vlog style videos in replace of taking up my Sony or my Canon camera, and I was gonna use a GoPro, do some water shots, go in the water with the GoPro, and do all of that. When I bought the GoPro, I only used it to do one video, and that was it. I never picked up the GoPro anymore, and it's just on my shelf, just there collecting dust. Now, that's an example of gear that I just spent money on and never used, or just used once or twice, and that was it. And I've not used it in, like, I would say 6 to 7 months of me buying that GoPro, probably a year, and I've not used it. So stuff like that, if I'm not gonna use it, there was no point of me buying it. If you want to use gear, the other option is rent it. If you don't want to waste your time buying it, just rent the gear. That will save you time and money, and you can test out the gear and you can see what is good for you and your own use. But with that being said, guys, this video is just to, you know, show you guys a few reasons why you should, 1, understand who you are as a filmmaker, 2, understand the reason why you need to buy certain gear that you need to buy. I can go really in depth, but like, again, I don't want to make this video a long video, just something to just cross up, share my point across to you guys and not make it super long. So with that being said, you guys pretty much understand me, and I feel like go out there, make the content you make with whatever you have. Any gear is gear. Don't believe that you have to have certain gear to create certain shots. Once you have the gear, the right gear for your own uses, then you can create and be creative with what you have. So with that being said, guys, go out there, have fun. I know for sure right now I'm about to go outside and do a lot of activities because it's hot and nice outside today. So yeah, enjoy your day, guys, and I'll see you in another video. Peace.